What's up, you guys? You're watching Sergio's Secrets. Before I get started with today's fun and exciting video, if you can please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button every single day until further notice. So if you have any video requests, definitely leave them down below and I'll be more than happy to be filming those videos for you. And today's requested video was Sergio, what are your thoughts on basic luxury items? What are your opinions? What are your thoughts? Do you like some of them? Do you not like some of them? Today we're going to be talking about things that I do see a lot. You know, I live in Texas, so these are items that I definitely see out and about very consistently. Now, I won't be mentioning, you know, Dior or like Chanel or Hermes, just because those are items. Yes, some of the items may be kind of a little bit more basic, you know, like a Chanel classic flap, maybe a Dior saddlebag, but you see those more on Instagram. Well, that's what I have to say. I see those more on Instagram than I do real life. So these are going to be items that I see very consistently in real life, and if they're worth the money or they're not worth the money, and what are my thoughts and my opinions on these 10 items. Like I said, if you can give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. So the first item that we're going to be talking about today is going to be the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Now, I honestly don't understand why this bag gets so much hate. You know, I understand that it is a very basic bag. I understand, you know, if you go to Target, if you go to Whole Foods, if you go to Walmart, you'll see real versions, replica versions. You'll see this bag basically anywhere you go. I mean, anywhere where I go, honestly, Vuitton Neverfulls. So my thoughts and my opinions on the Louis Vuitton Neverfull is I do like the bag. I don't understand why people saying that it is a basic bag and that it shouldn't be, you know, they just say that it's just not a basic bag, that everyone has it. I know everyone has it. I know it's people's first bags, but at the end of the day, when you think about it, it's a really good tote. Like, I was thinking to myself, what's another great tote other than the Louis Vuitton Neverfull that's kind of in the designer realm that will hold up and that will be pretty well? What about different brands like Goyard? And I thought different brands like, you know, maybe the YSL tote, the Tom Ford tote. But honestly, the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, it just wears really nicely. So I do think that it is worth the money. It is a nice tote. Like I said, it may be a basic tote. It may be something that, you know, a lot of people have. But at the end of the day, when you really think about it, out of all the totes that you see out and about, or that I see, I think that the Louis Vuitton Neverfull is a great tote. I mean, is it my first choice in a bag? Totally not, but you know, I can appreciate it, I can see it, and I can like it from a distance. Now, the choice that I would get it in if I were to get a Neverfull would be the Neverfull MM and Damier Ebene. I just don't like to take care of a shed of leather, so for me, I wouldn't get the Azure or the monogram. I would most likely get the Ebene or maybe a monogram with the black leather on it. But yes, my first thought of a first basic luxury item is going to be the Neverfull. Like I said, it is a lot of people's first bag. It is the only designer bag that a lot of people have for a reason, you know what I mean? It's a good mommy bag. It's a good work bag. It's a good travel bag. It's just all in all a really good tote. So honestly, I can't really hate on it because it's a functional bag, and it was in the early 2000s, I think in 2006, 2007. It has continually been Louis Vuitton's bestsellers. And when people say, well, look at all these other Louis Vuitton bags, why can't you get them? Honestly, guys, Louis Vuitton will not be nowhere if people don't buy the Neverfulls or the Speedies or the Almas, the more signature bags. Those are their bread and butters, and those are the ones that they have the highest profit margins. So those are their bread and butter. Those are the things that they sell through the most. The first kind of basic luxury item is a Neverfull, and for this one, I'm going to give it a pass. I do think it's a really good tote, and I do think that it's worth the money. And yeah, so this one is the first one, and it comes with the extra pouch, so you can never really go wrong. So number one is definitely a pass. Number two, we're going to be talking about, so for me, Gucci Marmont, I feel like it's had its day. I've had bags from the Gucci Marmont line and the Gucci Marmont belts, and you know, I just feel like Gucci Marmont in general has had its day, it's had its moment. I'm just tired of seeing the GG everywhere unless your initials are a GG. I do like Gucci bags. I think some of them are really pretty, some of them are really nice. A lot of the older styles I really like, a lot of the newer styles I do like, but just a particular line from Gucci Marmont I just don't necessarily care for anymore. I feel like it's been exaggerated, and the thing is with these basic items, a lot of people buy them just to have them kind of as a status thing, you know what I mean? And I've noticed that people have stuff just to have as statuses and to kind of wear it and show off for me, the way I buy designer goods, it's a little bit more different. I appreciate the craftsmanship, I appreciate the work, the advertisement, you know, to go into an item. So I'll give you an example, like this Dior book tote. When I see this book tote, I see the advertisements, I see the amounts of work to market this bag, I see the hours that it takes to make all these kind of embroidered designs, the quality, the craftsmanship. And you know, for me, that's what I look in a lot of designer items that I buy. I just don't buy stuff just to buy them. I buy them for a purpose. And I feel like with some of these items, people buy them for the wrong reasons, or, you know, maybe, you know, if they buy one or two things, they just want something just to kind of show off whatever the branding is. But for me, when I see things, I see it through kind of a craftsmanship. I see it as a marketing. That's how I view items as, and I appreciate them a lot more. I see them kind of like work of art. I kind of see the bags and the shoes and the ready-to-wear and everything about the industry. That's what I kind of see. So that's what I form opinions about. And so I just want to kind of let you guys know, like, when I talk about these items, I talk about them because I live and I breathe a lot of things, and I love fashion. So, you know, some of these items are basic items, but a lot of people buy them for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? People, you know, once they get like a check, that's $1,500, or maybe when people get their stimulus check, maybe they're gonna go online and buy that Louis Vuitton bag just so they can say they have one, or just so you can say you have this or that. You know, that's not the reason why I purchase items. I purchase them for the quality, and I purchase them for, you know, what it means to me. Thought I would throw that out there. But the Gucci Marmont, I just feel like it's had its day. I'm sick and tired of them. Seeing them like in 2015, 2016. I think they were really nice when they first came out, but like I said, there's other Gucci lines that I love for a lot more. I like the Gucci Dionysus during Dionysus collection. I like the Gucci Zumi collection. I like even some of the older like OG Gucci items. I just feel like Gucci Marmont has had its day. It's had its moment. Been there, done that. I currently don't own any Gucci Marmont items anymore. My last Gucci Marmont item was a Gucci Marmont velvet bag. I got that bag and I just felt like it wasn't me, so I sold it within a month of me having it, and this was earlier, like a few months ago. And so for me, I just feel like it's had its day, it's had its moment. So yeah, I don't think the Marmont is worth your money, and it's just one of those items that people just buy just to say that they have a Gucci bag, or just to say. So it's like there's no necessarily purpose and meaning and value in that, just because that item has become so mainstream. So that is the second for Gucci Marmont. I don't think that it's worth your money, or I don't think it's worth buying, especially now in 2020. The third item is an item that I actually own, which I'm going to be showing you. I've been at home the last few days, but I still have been changing out my bags when I go walk my dog. So this is my Celine bag that I'm using, but the item that I'm talking about today is from Louis Vuitton. And it is this key clay right here. Now this one I've had since my first job at 16, working at Chick-fil-A for $7.25. I've literally had this one since the beginning of my collection. I know this is a very common item. This is probably one of the first items that people usually buy. I bought this one when I believe it was $190 or $200. I believe now it's $205, $210, something around there. As you can see, the hardware has tarnished. It has been well loved, well used. I actually didn't even have this for a full year. I let one of my friends borrow it, and she had them in her keys, so I didn't even get to use it for a full year because I was using other wallets. But as you can see, this item has been well loved, well used, and I'm here to say that this item is worth the money. It is worth spending it on, because you can put this on your keys. Your cards are here. You will never lose them. They will always be with you. You can hang this on, you know, a bag. You can hang this on other items, so you know this, you will never lose this. So I think this is a really great piece, especially if you want your first item or just another item to add. I do think that this Louis Vuitton clay is like it, is worth it, and I haven't seen something in the market that comes even close as this little SLG. I've tried to get something from other brands, but honestly this one is a tried and true, and I do think that this Louis Vuitton clay is worth the money. And like I said, I've had this for many years, and I still really do think it's worth the money. And now that I look at it right here in the camera, I tend to really appreciate it a lot more. It humbles me, and this is like my beginnings when I started my entire designer collection. This is definitely one of the first pieces, and I do think this is worth the money. I've used this so much all the way through high school, all the way through my career, and I just think that this is worth the money. So if you do want this, and now I think they have it in the black checkered print now, and who knows, I may purchase that one to replace this one, but I do think that this monogram clay is worth the money. Definitely. Kind of basic designer item that a lot of people have are the Gucci A sneakers. Now, everyone in my family literally has a Gucci A sneaker. So these are them. They're basically like the white leather sneaker, or they come in black and they come in different variations. Now, for this one, I do think that it is worth buying. I just think that Gucci makes incredible shoes. I have 3 pairs of Gucci shoes, and all the Gucci shoes that I own are made really well. Like, Gucci makes good shoes. If you want a nice designer shoe, especially one of your first ones, I do think that Gucci makes impeccable. They hold up pretty well, and they're actually quite comfortable. I do have more of a wide foot, and all the Gucci shoes, you know, I have to break them in a little bit, but you know, not at the point where they're so uncomfortable. Reason why I include this one, you could be, well, Sergio, why aren't you including the Gucci Marmont, where let's say Gucci Marmont collection is? Because in the A sneakers, there's so many variations, guys. There's ones with studs, there's ones with hearts, there's just so many variations. Seasons after season after season, they come out with different styles of the Gucci A sneakers, and they're comfortable, they're tried and true, they hold up pretty well. So I think for this kind of basic luxury item, I do think that the Gucci A sneakers are definitely worth the money. I definitely do think that they're worth the investment. And if you do want to go ahead and purchase a Gucci A sneaker, I feel like you won't necessarily regret it. Like I said, I have mine, I like them, they're pretty comfortable, and you know, I don't see myself getting rid of them in my collection. So that is the 4th item, and I do think that the Gucci A sneaker is worth the money. Next item is not necessarily going to be a brand, it's just going to be a specific item that a lot of people get, and it's designer slides. So there's like the Gucci slides, there are the Valentino slides, there's the Chanel slides, you know, just anything that's a PVC plastic slide. Now for this one, I don't think it's worth the money, especially if you're going to be buying them right in the beginning. The reason is, at the end of the day, they are plastic, especially the Gucci ones that are made out of that kind of like, that have that kind of paint over them. Those, when you walk, they hit each other, so the material scrubs off. I'll enter pictures so you know what I mean, so you know what I'm talking about. But I just don't think that slides are worth the money. I think you're honestly, if you're in the beginning getting, you know, shoes, I think you should get more of a sneaker or something that, or like a loafer, something you would get a lot more wear out of, more than, you know, slide. I just don't think the slides are there. It's nice to have them in your collection, in that, you know, they are going to have quite a bit of wear and tear, but in the beginning, I don't suggest making that one of your first purchases or prioritizing it as one of your first purchases. So your slides are anywhere near worth the money. Stick to other shoes, and honestly, I just think that anything that's, it just gets a lot of wear over time, and that's basically money that you're throwing away. Well, a lot of the items that you buy, you know, you tend to keep forever, but those just get significant amount of wear really quickly. So just designer slides in general, I don't think it's worth the money. The next one that I see a lot of people still wear, and I thought that we were kind of over it, and I don't really like, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, and it's the off-white belt. Now, I love off-white clothing, I love their handbags, I like anything with the industrial strap, but I just don't like the industrial belt, the one that's just kind of all over the place, the one that you kind of has so much extra fabric. I just feel like that has had its day, it's had its moment. And like I said, if you do like that industrial belt, they incorporate them in their handbags and their ready to wear and their shoes. So I do think, I do like that industrial belt kind of look, but I just don't necessarily like it in the belt form. It's just so much fabric, so much material. It's just such a hard thing to style. I have played with these belts myself, you know, playing with them, and I just don't necessarily see the hype in them. If anything, they kind of complicate an outfit. Maybe that's just me because I'm more minimalistic when it comes to my clothing, and I let more of my accessories speak. But I just don't think that the off-white belt is still popular. I still see a lot of people wear them. I just don't see the hype in it, and every time I see it in person, I just kind of cringe just a little bit. No más un poquito, pero yeah, I just think that the off-white belt, I think the off-white belt is a good purchase in my opinion. The next one is going to be the Burberry Scarf. The Burberry Scarf. Now the reason this one, I'm gonna have to give it a maybe, and this one's gonna be honestly your opinion and what you think. So for me, the classic kind of print, the the camel-y color with like the checks on them, like this one right here, but this one's just in a darker color. That one gets replicated so easily. Even like if you go to stores like Kohl's and Ross and Marshall's, there's nothing wrong with that. I love to shop at Kohl's and Marshall's and Ross, but you see a lot of kind of dupes of the Burberry Scarf on Amazon and eBay. So it's just, for me, I just feel like I personally wouldn't get the original one just because those get replicated so easily, and sometimes you can't really even tell, or sometimes somebody's just walking and you can just see a little bit of the print. So for me, I just think that the Burberry classic one, I wouldn't go for one. I would go for more of a different style. This one's a black one. I got this one about a year and a half ago. Yeah, about a year and a half ago, and I've worn it a few times. I do like it. I do think it's kind of a classic item to have. I don't think a Burberry scarf will never go out of style. I have like a lighter blend instead of the cashmere one, just because I felt like I would get more wear out of this blend more than a cashmere one. So for this one, I can kind of see both aspects, but for this one, it's going to be more up to you guys. But for me, I do think it's worth it. I do like the Burberry scarf. I feel like everyone should have at least one Burberry scarf in their collection. Choice, the color, the length, the size, the texture, the material, that would be more up to you, but I would get kind of a darker color. Like I said, the few times that I have worn this one, I do really like it, and I do get a lot of compliments on it. So I think I'm honestly just going to keep this on for the rest of the video. But I think that the Burberry scarf, in my opinion, is something worth definitely buying. Now we're going to be going into one pieces of clothing. So the piece of clothing that I see a lot of people buy as one of like their first items is a Canada Goose jacket or a Montclair jacket. So for me, I do think they're worth the money. I have 4 Montclair jackets and I have 3 Canada Goose jackets, and I do think that they are worth the money. They do keep you warm. They do look very stylish. They do look very sophisticated. Now, with all the items I'm talking about, you have to style them and you have to make them done tastefully. If you are logoed out and everything and you're just a little bit too loud, then that's not being done tastefully, and that's not very kind of ladylike or gentlemanlike. So you kind of have to work with a lot of the pieces. So for me, when I wear my Canada Goose jacket, I make sure that that's more of the statement and not necessarily the other pieces that I'm wearing. That's where a lot more of my clothing is a little bit more minimal, and so I let more like third pieces or like accessories speak for more in my collection. But I do think that the Canada Goose jackets are worth it. I've had one for almost 3 years and it is worth the money. It literally looks brand new, like I bought it from the store. I just think that the Montclairs and the Canada Goose jackets, they hold up really, really well, and it's something that you have year after year. Kind of color, a classic style. Even if they discontinued that particular style, the item is still very classic, and it's just something you will always use year after year and will always keep you warm when it starts getting cold outside. So I do really see the value in having a nice coat, and I do think that Canada Goose and Montclair jackets are worth the money. Now, for all my Montclair jackets, I have gotten their jackets. I did get them on sale, and for my Canada Goose, I did pay full price for them. As I'm editing this video, I wanted to say that you guys have been asking a lot for me for a page that posts great deals. So it's this one right here. I will leave it in the description box. And there will be posts every couple of hours, every single day, from brands from Vince, Theory, Veronica Beard, to designer brands like Christian Louboutin, Balenciaga, Saint Laurent, that are on sale, that are online. And yeah, so if you are interested in it, I'll leave it in the description box. Post the day that this video is uploaded, and it will be something that we'll be consistently doing every single day, so you guys don't have to be looking for this stuff. The stuff is already served at your feed, and if you like something, you can just click the link and you can just purchase the item, and yeah, it's just easy for you guys. But I do think that they are worth the money. And the last item that we're going to be talking about today is going to be Chanel costume jewelry. Now, Chanel costume jewelry, I'm going to go ahead and say that it is not worth the money. I just think that they are so overpriced for what it is, especially almost every single Chanel earring or Chanel item that has some sort of Swarovski crystal or crystal detail. I went to pictures here. It eventually falls off, and you have to constantly keep going to the Chanel, bringing them off to France or off to wherever they get those items fixed and put a jewel in and ship them back off to you. And I've seen people where they have to do this like 10 plus times, and it just starts becoming more of an inconvenience. And why should something fall apart in the first place? I just don't think that the Chanel custom jewelry, at the end of the day, it's not even real precious metal. I much rather, if I do want to buy nicer jewelry, maybe buy some Tiffany sterling silver, like the rings that I'm wearing right here, or just invest in other higher quality precious metals that necessarily isn't designer. I just don't see the value in Chanel jewelry. I may see myself maybe buying a brooch or something like that in the future. Now, I just don't see you in buying them, and I know I have made a video about talking about Chanel jewelry in the past. I just don't think it's worth the money, and I don't personally see myself buying them. I rather, you know, buy a handbag. I rather put that money towards silver. So for me, that's just gonna be my thoughts on that. And yeah, guys, these are going to be about items that are basic, that a lot of people have, or I see a lot of people wear here in Texas. Now, I took more inspiration of what I see out and about on the streets than what I see on Instagram. Like I said, that's why I didn't include classic flaps or Dior book totes, because you see in bloggers and you see more kind of public figures wear those, and you do see regular people wear those too. But here, like, just not as much. Even when I went to London, I didn't really see a lot of people have book totes or saddlebags. You know, that's more stuff you see on Instagram. And when people say like, oh, I see Chanel flat bags everywhere, I personally do see them here out and about, you know what I mean, but I don't see them as much as, like, let's say a Louis Vuitton Neverfull. These are going to be some designer items. I give you kind of my thoughts about them, and like I said, for the most part, I do think most of them are worth it. I think that the Neverfull is worth it. I think Louis Vuitton Key Clay is worth it. The Gucci Ace sneakers, the Burberry Scarf, and the Canada Goose jackets or the Montclair jackets, those are worth your money. And stuff that I will say clear from is like Chanel costume jewelry, the off-white belts, the designer slides, and, you know, kind of like the Gucci Marmont collection. Those would be ones that I would kind of stay away from. But yeah, I would definitely love to hear your opinions down below. What are some basic luxury items that you think that they are? I know I'm definitely missing a few, like Jenny McQueen sneakers, the Louis Vuitton Speedy. You know, there are a few that I am missing, but what do you think about this list? Do you agree with them? Do you not agree with them? Do you think that some of these items are worth buying? Do you think some of them are not worth buying? Like I said, I kind of give you a healthy balance of stuff that I think is worth it and think is not worth it. But I would definitely love to hear your conversation down below, and make sure to comment down below, and I'll make sure to reply, and we can have a nice healthy conversation. Thank you so much for watching this video. Any video requests will be gladly appreciated, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye guys, thank you so much for watching.